Welcome, it's 10th of April 2023, I'm Jan Dziewior and welcome to my show. We are starting with the news. Last week I had morning shift at work and only thing that changed was that I was working on production machines 2 days because there were not enough people. It wasn't bad, so I'm not complaining. I was active, but that's it from a workplace. It's basically stable. I got to know maybe some people better and I think it's cool, you know, it's just cool. I was playing Football Manager lately and I won league in the second season and reached Champions League final losing to Liverpool 3-0. I thought I will win easily next season, but I'm so far halfway through struggling to win matches with smaller teams. Also I'm struggling with winning any games, sometimes drawing with decent clubs. But I'm struggling throughout. I changed my tactics a little and I hope it will help. It should be alright after a successful season, right? Why change if it was working? I thought it was working so far, so I didn't think that any change would help. I think players don't play for 100% and my opponents are getting advantage of my mistakes. And also they are more defensive against me, so it's harder to score after losing goal. We will see, maybe it will be better. Also I rewatched lately Lieutenant Likmi YouTube videos. I think it's a cool way of online work and it was cool to be back watching how he works. He doesn't share a lot, but it's quality videos. In other news, last Saturday I spent 2 hours shopping to buy me some clothes. Here are clothes I bought. That's mostly it for the news, that's all I wanted to share, so let's go straight to the quiz. So let's start quiz, you know rules, you have time to think about the answer while the music is playing. And my first question is, what is the currency of Japan? I'm not sure if I said Japan, Japonia correctly, but it's yen. Current currency is yen, so I hope you got it right. And the second question is, in computing, How many bits are there in a byte? The answer is 8. Next question. Which island nation is home for lemurs? It's Madagascar. Like this animated movie that I like. I watched it. Next question. Which nation has won the most men's World Cup finals in football? It was Brazil and they won 6 times. And for those who doesn't know, you can say how many titles national team has by stars under the logo, national logo. That's I think cool information. And the last question. What was the currency of France before the euro? It was French franc. And that was my last question. I hope you got some correct. I think some of you could. You can let me know how many you have guessed in the comments or in a private message. But now it's time for sports news. In Tuesday I was trying to watch hit game between Liverpool and Chelsea. I know that Chelsea could win. They scored 2 goals, but one was cancelled because it was offside and one because Havertz had a hand play, but otherwise I don't know too much about the game, being busy watching Kendall Jenner YouTube videos. But final score was 0-0. Wednesday bring us Copa del Rey match between Barcelona and Real Madrid at Spotify Camp Nou. Not to mention that 20 years ago Barcelona refused to have any sponsorship on their shirts. Now they renamed their stadium. They invested in expensive footballers instead of investing in the club. Now they are big controversy. Match ended up with score 4-0 for Real Madrid and they got into the final. It didn't look like Barca will lose that high. First goal happened just before a halftime break after a successful counter-attack, and at that moment chances of getting into final were equal. After the break Real went strongly and with our unorganized and self-confident Barca, that's what I was thinking. They started scoring and it was 2-0 in 50th minute. Then it started to get nervous and Real won penalty, successfully executed by Karim Benzema, and in 80th minute Karim finished scoring and match ended up with a score 4-0. To be honest, for me as a Barca fan, since I think 2002 maybe earlier, I remember watching their game against Wisła Kraków in some European matches. That's when I fell in love in football as a team game. But it wasn't fun to watch. It could end up with a better score, but there was no breakthroughs for Barca. They were able to keep the ball but without success. So, shame. Saturday, Real Madrid lost to Villarreal home game 2-3, and Barca is closer to being champions in La Liga. That is a good news for the club. Barca is playing today, so I probably will cover this match next week's Monday show. I can't wait to see the match. Saturday also brought us Premier League matches, and one that I was watching was Southampton-Manchester City. I was also busy making music, but the beat I made will be played at the end of the show. I watched only first half with one eye open, and I don't remember much of it, because I was doing the music. I had to rewatch to remember first goal for City. It was Haaland's goal after De Bruyne pass from the side of the pitch. Of course, perfect pass, like usual. But also Haaland was successful. That isn't that obvious. You know, you have to eventually calculate where the ball will be at some moment, and you know, somehow get to this level of confidence at the pitch. Then I was so busy with my song I forgot about match, and by time I got back it was over, and final score was 4-1 for Manchester City, and they are still fighting for the title. Sunday gave us match between Liverpool and Arsenal. Arsenal started strongly with goal by Martinelli in 8 minutes. Later Gabriel Jesus scored after a very good run by Martinelli and perfect center. I knew Martinelli was going to be a great player, seeing him play, and he is proving it by playing very well, game after game. Right before halftime, Trent Alexander-Arnold was attacked by Xhaka after passing the ball. Then he fought back and they got both yellow cards. Maybe a minute later, Liverpool scored after team play and goal by Salah. Second half started with penalty for Liverpool, missed by Mo Salah. Liverpool was trying badly to score, and they eventually did it at 87th minute. Then Ramsdale saved the game for Arsenal with 2 incredible interventions. Arsenal had chances without greater result. It was very good game, fast game, keeping us intense, full of excitement and goals. We don't demand much more than this. And that's it for the sports news from me. Let's go to music news. Last week, Linkin Park was celebrating 20th anniversary of releasing album Meteora. I don't know how about you, but I am a decent fan. I remember that when I was young, my sister had Linkin Park albums. I was listening and singing them along to Limp Bizkit, but also a lot of different music. When I was no older than 12 and she was 16, so almost adult, I remember my friend Wojtek, who is bass player now, was organizing campfire, and I wanted to be cool, and I said I have Linkin Park cassette. Everybody loved me at that moment. The truth is, I didn't, but I could record on cassette from CD. It felt almost illegal. I didn't want to be caught doing this because it was my sister's CD. So I did it on lowest volume possible because it had to be played while recording. So I was doing it with pressure on my back, like I was committing a crime. Finally I made it happen, and eventually I was a hero at Campfire having their cassette. Talking about Linkin Park, in honor of celebrating 20th anniversary, I was listening to Linkin Park albums, and it never disappoints. It is never disappointing. Here's a glimpse of one of their songs. I hope I can play at least 20 seconds.
Yo, peep the style and the kids checking for it. The number one question is how could you ignore it? We drop right back in the cut over basement tracks with raps that got you backing us up like rewind that. We're just rolling with the rhythm, rise from the ashes of stylists.
Yeah, isn't it great? It sounds like it was recorded yesterday, you know. It's a shame that Chester is not with us anymore. I remember the news hit at me like he was my friend, you know, like we was in constant relationship, but that wasn't the case, and I felt mesmerized by the news so much I did Instagram post about his passing away. What a shame. What a shame, you know. I even now feel bad about it somehow. What a loss, you know. So past week I've been listening to Linkin Park new interviews released because of the anniversary. And at Sunday I was listening to unreleased before music from time they recorded the album on YouTube. And it was really good. I would say those are proper songs. Could end up being on an album, not as leftovers. Here's an example. It's one of their songs. It's called Attached. Mike Shinoda is still active on music scene as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure about other band members, there's not much on Wikipedia. He released solo album called Post Traumatic that I've been listening a lot at time. He was also active on YouTube and Twitch while quarantine, doing beats, talking about production process, making it fun, communicating with people on chat, playing games. And I was fairly following because it was like 4-hour sets, or I don't know how you call it, but it was really fun, you know. He also did a contest for recording a chorus for a song Open Door, but my version got more thumbs down than thumbs up, so I guess it wasn't good enough, but I didn't feel so bad about it, and it's still on YouTube. On Project Pseudo channel. If you want to, you can check it out. In other news, I'm trying to talk about one new, for me, album as I'm doing the show. And one of the albums that was recently released and I came across was new Gorillaz album called Cracker Island. It's a really good album. It was very cool listening to this. Just listen.
On Cracker Island it was born, to the collective of the dawn. They were planting seeds at night to grow a made up paradise, where the truth was not attuned.
Isn't it great? I think it's worth it. Time well spent. It's funky, groovy, funny, dancey, lot of fun. I think it would be worth buying on CD or vinyl. Maybe in the near future I will be in possession of this album because I think it's special, you know, it's a party song. For me. As of my music, I will end up the show with my new song, and I will probably release it someday somewhere on YouTube as soon as I figure out the cover and the title for song and the next EP or LP or whatever it will become. So far it's without it. And that's it for music news. Let's go to the weather news. Today it's raining outside. Too bad for holiday. But other than that, last week was good. Sunny afternoons mostly. Rained maybe 2 days, so it is getting better with the weather. That was weather news. What does a baby computer call his father? Data. That's it for the show, for my Monday show. I hope you will enjoy my song at the end. So I wish you have a good week ahead. Take care, everybody.